Hola, welcome to the Groovement podcast. I am Agent J. Very special episode this time round, celebrating the release of Ty's 5th album, A Work of Heart, on Jazz Refreshed. It's out this Friday, 2nd of March 2018. It's up for pre-order now over at jazzrefreshed.bandcamp.com. I'm about to speak to the man himself for the next hour or so kick back and enjoy that. We'll talk about the making of the new album, musical climate, political climate, a young generation, an older generation, all sorts of stuff. Hit me up on socials at Jamie Groovement on Twitter and Instagram. Let me know what you thought of the episode. On Facebook as Groovement Co UK. And The Legend Ty is on socials as Ty Music on Twitter and Facebook, and Ty Musical on Instagram. This is a track called Brixton Baby off the brand new album. More to come after this.
From the days when it wasn't safe to gaze, cause some people had their ways. Reggae music was the heartbeat. Loud music hit the car beat. Chauffeur driven angels in their pushchairs. Head ties, headscarf, different footwear. Blue jeans is the uniform. Pretty girls walking around like unicorns, unaware of their beauty, getting judged by their chest or the size of their booty. We are many colors, cultures and others. We don't all mix, but we blend with each other in this funny little matrix we call home, where you learn to really watch your tone or guard your phone. The relationship with Popo is so-so. God help you with your cocoa, it's loco. I come from Brixton. I come from Brixton, baby. Born and raised, you never cease to amaze me. You're either rich or struggling gracefully in a place far from make-believe. Hair braids and weave, maybe it's Maybelline. Hard nights for the days between. There is a sunshine Bill Rivers in the faces of those still with us. Take away plus destiny delivers. Here today, gone tomorrow, many rivers. Folks cutting coconuts in the summer. Watch your back, youths might do a runner. Run up on you doing dumb shit or dumber. Might catch a black eye from your mama. Families of all shapes and sizes, wearing intricate but great disguises. Well aware of how great the sky is. Watch yourself, we don't play surprise surprises. I come from Brixton. I come from Brixton, baby. Born and raised, you never cease to amaze me. Phase one, phase two, or phase three. I come from Brixton. I come from Brixton, baby. Born and raised, you never cease to amaze me. I come from Brixton, baby.
African made, Brixton raised, so I'm still a little feisty. South London, baby, though this gift will take me to travel afar. Took me out the ends, but begins in my heart. See, I've been around the world and I come back. Though you see me in the village like the new bougie black. It's this village that raised me, it just keeps on changing. And I'm trying to keep up with this race I'm racing. Fighting to grow so we don't get stuck. And my mum will let you know that it was more than luck. Cause the streets do call and some do fall, but we rise up to do it for love. Keep eyes up, cause it comes from above. And when we don't have a lot, you know the love is enough. I do it for you, I do it for me, I do it cause we Brixton, baby. never cease to amaze me. I come from Brixton, baby. I come from Brixton.
Ty, it's a pleasure to have you on the Groovement Podcast. Welcome, man.
It's an absolute pleasure for me too, man.
So,
I've been aware of your podcast for a while. I've been aware of the name of the podcast.
Back in 2006, I think it must have been, you were at the Mint Lounge, and I'd seen you previously because you'd played with a live band previously, but I think on this particular tour, it was the Closer tour, and I think I was getting my album signed, and I was like, I'm thinking of calling this, podcast Groovement. It was a radio show at the time on Unity Radio, and you gave me your blessing, and you were like, as long as you play my music, so I owe you a debt of gratitude for that.
That's cool, no problem at all.
And so you're in Birmingham tonight, and you're going to be working with young people tomorrow. I'm a primary school teacher myself,
Okay.
and I often wonder about the kids I teach are only 6 or 7, but I often wonder about how they'll perceive, consume, and what the legacy is of music for those guys. What kind of work do you do with young people, and what are your thoughts on them entering into that sort of world?
It's interesting because when you're working with schools, you're working with restrictions of like education policies and outcomes that they have. But my outcome, the background of what I'm always trying to achieve is to stoke a fire in their interest in expressing themselves. So I'm like, the narrative is always dressed up as, we want this, and we want a type of workshop, identity, or blah, 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 blah. And that's fine. But I always think my goal is to have a secret meeting with these young people and find out what they're into and try and trigger them into being interested in documenting their emotions and their expressions. And also just opening Pandora's box in regards to, okay, you do realize that you can express yourself, and you can play around with how you express yourself and what you do, and it will actually make you feel good, and it will make others feel good as well. So I'm always interested in that relationship with young people and make it. So my overall promise is always to try to trigger that kind of narrative with my young pupils, regardless of what the school is saying, regardless of what the concept or the goal for the school is. I'm always interested in, right, this is an opportunity for me as an older person to vibe with young people and see where they're at, what they want to say, not what the teachers want them to say, what they want to say. So I'm always interested in that, and then find a way for them to do that and to do the coursework.
Right. So getting them to realise there's potential outside of the school kind of constrictions.
Definitely. And it's definitely not about the theme of the day. It's always about, look, I remember being a child, being in school. I remember teachers inspiring me. That stays with you forever. So I'm always interested in young people having eureka moments where they realize they can really express themselves and that they're really good, or that they've got they can do something that they didn't think they could do. I always want them to be aware of the fact that they can do that. And hopefully it would be something that they do outside of school. I'm always interested in that.
Yeah.
If I can make young people get intrigued in the art of expressing themselves and using their bodies to and how they express themselves, and just waking them up to the idea that, how you stand and how you wrinkle your eyebrows is just as entertaining as the words that you write. I'm always interested in that. I'm interested in young people's minds and what happens when they realise stuff like that.
So it's not necessarily just wordplay or just music specifically, it's
It really
trying to open up everything.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking did you spend some time in Manchester at the Contact Theatre as well?
Yes, I did. I did a couple workshops for Benji Reed years ago, who shot the album cover recently, and I've done some stuff with Young Identity over the years, and Contact Theatre has definitely been somewhere that I've been quite familiar with over the years.
So, as someone who travels to various cities doing this sort of thing, are there any particular areas of the UK where this creativity is strong, or are there areas where you get frustrated because kids are kind of trapped into not fulfilling potential because of the city they're in?
It's sixes and sevens. It's never what you expect. There are some places that I've been to when I've been doing workshops with Hip Hop Shakespeare, where the young people are just so up for it, or they're so up for having a person like me come into the room and work with them, or they're not even too used to having someone that looks like me, and they enjoy it. And then there's some scenarios where you expect them to enjoy it and they don't enjoy it. So you can never know. It really is a merry-go-round of emotions. When you walk into a school, you never know if you're going to have a good session or a bad session, or whether there's going to be a class clown that spoils it for you, or there's going to be, a teacher that has it in for you and wants, doesn't want you to do well, or wants to get carried away with their rules and regulations rather than just letting some free spirit happen. You just never know. It's not about strong areas or strong territories. It really does depend on the day, the classroom and the teachers and the students.
Yeah.
I've seen places that are good and bad.
Okay, let's whiz back to Benji Reed then. I'm looking at the album cover now, and it's a statement. So, what was the... I'm not going to say what was the idea, but what was the genesis of that? And I can see that maybe it took some working out physically as to how the hearts were going to come out. But basically what I can see is you, and your heart is your hearts are kind of exploding out. So talk to me about that a minute.
What I won't do is I'm not going to spoil the concept for anybody. So there's two things happening. The picture is a replica of a Benji Reed photo that he took for his exhibition, which you can see at benjireed.com. And the picture, when you see his picture, you'll see that my pictures are a replica of his picture. And his picture originally was a love terrorist. So the hearts are the explosion, the bag is the terrorist bag.
Right.
And that was his original vision. Now, my vision in regards to what I wanted for that was for people to see like a work of art in regards to the body of work you make, that you do, and how you and what you want to happen as far as people enjoying or exploring your musical endeavors, and the love you put behind making songs or concepts, and hopefully people enjoying your output. That's kind of where I wanted to go with it, but it's really open. I really want the interpretation really to come from people that listen to the music and watch the cover or buy the album cover, because some people are going to buy the album cover just for the album cover because it feels like art.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's overall the album is about us updating how we view UK or international European hip hop artists, how we view them in regards to what we do. I really think that for a long time now, we can only view a hip hop recording based upon what happens in the States, or how the States deals with, how the States views DJ Premier is how you have to view me. And I just think that it's time for us to update that. I think some of us are making music that has no, as well as having no expiration date, has no need for validation from American cousins, or it's like it's there. It's ready for you to digest as a grown-up, as an intellectual, and as a music lover. And it's not necessarily going to be dripped in American seasoning for how you digest it.
So aside totally. I mean, aside from, I think, an audio level of how the music sounds, I think UK and American stuff is very different at the moment. But in terms, would you say that there's more of a sense of a different kind of grounded realism and humour in UK music? I mean, your stuff isn't out. You know, you're not taking a comedic kind of lyrical element here, but there is irony and there's a sardonic element to a lot of what you do. But it's very, very heartfelt. Would you say that is something that is UK specific, really?
No, I don't think it's UK specific. I don't think what I do musically as a recording artist is something that you can put in a box with other UK artists. I think we're all doing different stuff. And I definitely think that what I'm doing, what my body of work of what I've been doing, is a particular case study on its own that you can't throw other UK musicians in with me. You have to look at the body of work for what it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I can't really talk on UK music as a whole in regards to whether it's doing a certain thing, because then I feel like I'll be putting us all in a box, and I've definitely tried to jump out of that box. I
mean, for me, like, this is your 5th album now, and for me, Ty's music has always been about Ty, but kind of presenting yourself to the world. I mean, I see Brixton Baby as, you know, it's about Brixton, but for me, it kind of lays you out as well, and kind of like, because the experiences that you're talking about are experiences that you've lived. So, was Brixton Baby made before the rest of the album was conceived, or was it very much part of the package?
Brixton Baby was part of the album. It wasn't the first song made for the album. It was one of the songs, and it was time to make an ode to the area that wasn't dangerous, that wasn't exclusive, that wasn't like my city's better than your city. It was more of an artistic take on coming from somewhere and documenting it and making sure that the video... Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Okay, so the video is a short film. And I think in a time where an area is disappearing, or there's elements of gentrification that are... And, just evolution in general. It's important to try to document, even the documentation of the film. The Brixton that is now existing doesn't even represent what the Brixton Baby video shows you. So a lot of those things are already gone. So it's almost like we caught a snapshot at the time.
Right.
And I'm glad that I'm taking music that seriously in regards to trying to make sure that every video is a statement, every video is a piece of art. And that's how I'm looking at this music. That's how my collaborators are looking at the body of work. That's how Jazz Refreshed are doing it. That's how Bunny Bread is doing it. That's how Benji Reed is doing it. That's how that's how United 80, the shop in Brixton. We're all kind of harvesting art to be consumed by the world and working in tandem.
I mean, I've been to Brixton for a day. I've hardly been down London anyway, but I went to Brixton for a day. I went to visit a primary school there. Went around the market and went down Electric Avenue. And for me, it just seeped. You know, like people say, you go to New York and it kind of seeps hip-hop. For me, like, Brixton seeped history in terms of how people got there. And I think, your video is... There's like 20 characters that you want to know more about straight away just watching that video. It's a pretty special video, but the fact that there's things like the Brixton Pound in there, I don't even know how that works, and it seems to be this cultural hub that, for me, seems very, very fluid. And I don't know now about how it's painted in London. Is there still like a negative aspect painted locally about Brixton?
It's changing, but it's only changing because suddenly people have realised that Brixton is not somewhere to be scared of anymore. It's actually rich people's playground. So it's mega cool right now.
In terms of the businesses?
It's mega cool in a kind of, in a sarcastic way. It's like, normally this country, I kind of pride the UK in being very aware of its history. Very, very aware of its history and aware of where... Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, aware of what's happened in the area. Like, you go to Devon, you're going to get some toffee. You can go to the seaside. You're going to see some things. And I think that Brixton's the only place that I see where people are travelling to and don't want to know about the history of the area. So a lot of the trendies that are in won't go to the Brixton Cultural Archives.
Okay.
They won't go there. They'll totally miss that area out, like as if it's an invisible piece of the world that they can't see at the corner of Brixton and right past Brixton Ritchie. And I'm really saddened by that because I know that, we really pride ourselves on museums and places like that. And I just, for some reason, really saddened by the fact that people come to Brixton and don't want to check the history. Or they come to Brixton and they don't wonder where all the people that were in Brixton originally, where have they gone? Nobody seems to be okay. Everyone seems to be cool with the switch around. And it's like, okay, this area that you're in that's really mega cool, some people made it cool, but they're not here no more. You don't want to know where they are? That's really interesting. That's the sarcastic aspect. It's like, wow, people love Brixton now, but they don't love what made Brixton what it is.
And have those people been priced out?
Priced out, moved out.
Hmm.
A lot of people have been moved out. A lot of people didn't just move because of the money going up. There were lots of different little deviant things that were done. But that's Brixton.
Yeah. I mean, Salford at the moment, friend's mum has got a house there and that their estate has been demolished and they're moving them to different council housing, but this council housing is more expensive to live in. So the choice is either pay more money to go to this where they want you to go or kind of get out.
This is the UK. It's the
yeah. So this album to me feels like a restatement, almost like a rebirth for you as a consumer. So with a work of heart, you've come across, really driven in terms of pushing this. We'll talk about social media and stuff in a minute, but you've called this a catharsis. Does it feel like a rebirth to you as well?
Yeah, it definitely does. Making the album was a real labour of love. It was one of the hardest albums to finish. It was a real make or break moment. It is right now. It's literally, I'm working on fumes to get to the end of the road, and the music had to represent hope and also people being determined to get somewhere. So it's for the listener, it's for the artist, it's for the consumer. It's definitely a mantra aspect with the work of art, and also a mantra in regards to the term, the work of art. What I'm trying to do is I'm living in the UK, and I'm realizing that the UK rich people in media circles seem to label what we do. So grime never called itself grime.
Yeah,
that name came from journalists. Hip hop wise, we're kind of labeled as these kind of guys that are diehard, that won't give up or keep doing this sample-based stuff, blah, blah, blah. But actually, some of us are grown, some of us are young, some of us are driven, some of us are depressed, some of us are enthusiastic, some of us are geniuses, some of us are talented, some of us are wasting their time. There's loads of things going on. And I feel like it's time for us to rename the narrative of what, to rename the narrative of what we do ourselves. Like, so when I made the Kick, Snare and an Idea EP, I was creating a terminology that I could use to describe the things that we do, rather than the journalists come along and call our stuff itchy, scratchy, or whatever. And this work of art is really, it's my work of art, but everyone has their works of art in regards to what they do. Everybody, every artist or creative person, everything they're working towards is exactly that process. You know, you put your life on hold to finish these projects or to solve these puzzles, and that's what I was trying to do, and I'm hoping that comes across in the new music. It seems to be coming across in regards to how people are reacting.
Yeah, and I think backed up by your passion. I mean, like, there's an email gone out today, hasn't there, talking about what you're up to, and the hashtag, the We Are Your Heart promise, we're calling it.
Yeah, wear your heart.
What's wear your heart? What's
Wear your heart, work of art.
What's the response been like to that?
The response has been great. People taking pictures, posting the hashtag, putting a heart next to their faces or next to themselves, what they love, what they're in, you know, what they're invested or what they believe in, or what they love, and then they put the. I think it's nice to include the audience in your promotion, and it's becoming the reaction's been great. It's crazy, actually. It's really taken off. People have taken pictures, posted it, send it to us. We repost it up. It goes round and around. Some people doing it don't even know what the project is. Yeah. And it's cool. I mean, I think it's nice to have a project be doing those sort of things.
I posted one about an hour ago.
Okay, cool. I was checking when I'm online. I'm struggling for Wi-Fi at the moment.
Yeah, no, I know. I posted my daughter. She's 2, and
excellent.
Yeah, baby Groovement.
Thank you.
It made me think, like, you know, this is my work of art. How important and how much someone like you, but you specifically, because I think you are unique in what you do, puts into something like this, then puts it out, and in an era, I mean, we're similar ages, in an era where music is so quick, and so there's an opportunity to miss things, and definitely. You know, I miss things, and I'm looking for music every day, and I miss stuff. To put out a double gatefold album with a cover like that, it's a statement, but the music has to back it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So for you, of course, yeah. So for you to tie this all together with your production, and obviously you've got Terrell, Tall Black Guy, on there as well. How much of an organic kind of process was it with the artists that are appearing on the album as well? Was that something that you'd kind of sat down with a pen and kind of planned out, or was it an organic process to get those people?
It definitely
involved?
was organic. I don't plan music like that at all, ever. It's never organized office-wise. It's always kind of heartfelt, just trying to make something happen or work. And that's what happened with this project. I let the music do the talking. I let the music tell me what needs to happen.
And funnily enough, for an album that's got a track called Brixton Baby on it, it doesn't strike me as very geographically specific. No. You've got John Robinson on there, you've got Umar on there.
We've got Australian MCs on, Australian and New Zealand MCs on there.
So you've got a world view. You've got, like, you know, you're saying you live in the UK, but you've got a world view, and I think this music is universal, right. Very much.
That's right. It's got Pumpkin on there, it's French MC on there, on Eyes Open.
So it feels like a community album. Has your community, from what I see on Facebook and stuff, and what's happened over the years, to me, you've got a strong community behind you. Do you feel that?
Yeah, but the community is international. I mean, I've always been pushing the idea that we are, you know, hip hop is the excuse for us to communicate and become friends, and, you know, to become aunties and uncles of of different families outside of our normal nuclear family structure. And I really take that on board in regards to the music I make. I used to obviously collaborate a lot more, and I had to kind of cut that down because of a group that I worked with that was very disrespectful, and it made me really kind of clamp down on making as many records with different people as possible, because I really saw that people take the piss.
Do you think you've trusted a bit more then with this album?
Have I what, sorry?
Do you think you've trusted a bit more then with the amount of people you've got on this album?
No, it's not even, I don't think it's trust. I think I definitely have, I can see when it's a mutually beneficial respect. And when it's a thing of someone just wants you on their record because they know that if they get your voice on their record, then they're scoring a home run sort of thing. Yeah. But they don't want to pay you nothing to do it, sort of thing. There's plenty of that.
Will you?
So it's not, it's okay.
Will you choose? I think this is a good point. Will you choose me another track? I've already played Brixton Baby with them before. Would you choose me another track from the album to play?
Me choose the song. Okay. Let's go for You Gave Me.
You Gave Me. And who's the guest on that one?
The guests on that record are Le Shavu, who is LaDonna, Charlene Hector, and Vulu Malinga.
Okay.
Who have all been singers that have sung on with me in the band, and they've now created a trinity. They're like a group that all sing together now.
Are they London based?
They're London based, but they're all over the show. So like Charlene Hector and LaDonna and Vula all sing for Basement Jaxx.
Right. And what's You Gave Me about?
You Gave Me is a kind of testimony record, really. It's about the fact that you have someone in your life that kind of, you just like you with your daughter. Your daughter picked you, and she's coming to the world, and now you're doing everything you can to live and also be the umbrella for your daughter. Yeah, I'm being that daughter, talking on the record. Okay, back to my parent, back to the adult in my life, and referencing the world from that perspective.
To live, abrasive, honor with a faith in this. Don't know how you put up with the pace of this place, but these chains really chafe my wrist. Every time I close my eyes, I don't see Jodeci, I see holes in me. A system in place that's controlling me, telling me to get over me. Well, I come from Mansfield Estate, rough neighborhood, but the mood's great. Raised me so I refuse to break, change me from a nerd to an ape, and I'm not really with that reference till I watch Caesar from the Planets of the Apes. Everything from the capture to the dialogue, over to the final escape. The penny really dropped in my teens when I heard my household scream at each other, for each other, with each other. Close the door and I can still hear them in my dreams. They're not gonna make it, are they? I used to talk in third person. I guess it was a safety mechanism for how to deal with this new twisted version of my life. Kept the roof over my head, taught me about sharing with my sis, slunk down the putty and taught me to piss, taught me everything is not sold with a fist, read a book, black love is not a myth, told me that I come from a long line, so don't just lounge on the front line, taught me about James Brown, so I taught you about Roy Ayers and the sunshine. Those are really fun times, but fun times gonna die sometimes. You kept the wolves from the door, kept me within the law. Played me, fella in the background, so subconsciously I knew the score. I started to notice my aura, while others would flick knives and borers. Use their talents wrongly or rightly. We can't judge unless you're Spike Lee. Coming from a poor background, I was taught, choose when to back down. Live life for another day, just don't throw toys out or your hat down. Didn't recognize my gift at first, tried to shut it down, made it 10 times worse. I used to write on the bathroom floor in the middle of the night when my vexed dad snored. Sore arms, brain buzzing, full of lyrics I would run and show my cousins who were really like my little brothers. And we're still tight, a little ruckus now and then, but it's alright.
So with Jazz Refreshed, you've got a new start, and I think part of that is that you've got Jazz Refreshed, you're releasing it on there. So I'm presuming with Jazz Refreshed and knowing you've got a lot of control over your own work. How is it working with a new label? Does it feel fresh, like it's in the name? Does it
feels fresh. It doesn't feel like a label.
Okay.
It feels like people that are mutually believing in what you're doing, sticking their neck out and working as a team. That's what it feels like. A label's different. A label's like they're putting your record out, but you don't necessarily feel like you can sit down and eat food with those people. You don't, people back you like all the times I've been on a label, it's been cool, but it's never been a thing like I can call certain people at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
I can call these guys at 2:00 in the morning.
I love that. I've heard you say it before, but I love that the idea of sitting down and eating food with someone is so important, because it is. To be able to do that and kick it back and share and break bread with people.
It's very important. I think it's ultimately important that I don't make music with people unless if I can't eat food with you, I don't want to make music.
Yeah.
Simple. If you're the sort, if I can't be comfortable and relaxed around you, why would I sit there and try and fix ad-libs and work out choruses with you? I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I'm being paid.
I mean, they're obviously good people, but does it open up new opportunities that you'd not considered in terms of, I don't know, other artists or...
Okay, so the thing is, I'm really trying to explain this they're not just a label; they're a movement.
Mm.
That's the difference. So Jazz Refreshed, they are kickstarting and helping a whole bunch of young jazz bands or young progressive musicians move from just being jazzers who play at a jazz school to actually being jazz people that play around the world and, you know, get on stages and do like big festivals. And also they help them put the album artwork together. They help them tour. They help them put their little first EPs out. I'm watching a movement. It's not just the label. I think the label thing, for me, has always been a little bit problematic in regards to people just putting people's music out. But they're not willing to call themselves a movement for people like you, a movement for people that think and love music like you. And that's what Jazz Refreshed are. Putting my record out with them helps them as well as it helps me. It's not a label's here to facilitate you and hopefully sell records. This is more than just doing that. They are not just a label. They are number one representatives that are actually creating groundbreaking artists platforms for them to come out and put music out. They're doing that regardless of me. Does that make sense?
Totally.
But what I'm hoping is people that check my music, buy my music, go and sniff around and see who these other artists are that they put out and be surprised, be really surprised, shocked even by the level of music that they're putting out.
But what's sad for me is that there aren't more. You know, I feel like Manchester really needs that, and there are people really trying to do that. But whether we don't have the scene or whether we don't have the capital or the community, I don't know what it is, but it makes me sad that there's not more like that around the UK, because I don't know. I mean, do you think there's a handful of collectives kind of doing that, or Jazz Refresh pretty unique?
I think there are collectives that are doing it around. There are definitely different collectives around the country that are doing similar things to what Jazz Refresh are doing, and I think most of them are aware of each other and are working. Sorry, they're working, you know, around each other or with each other. I can't speak for other territories though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Per se what they're doing, but what I will say is me putting records out with Jazz Refresh, putting this record out with Jazz Refresh is a culmination moment. It's not just about Ty's fifth album. It's about a bunch of people who stayed focused on art, on putting out good music, playing good music, promoting good artists, actually now culminating back and, you know, drawing circles around each other and lifting each other up and you know, magnetizing an audience to come and know that, okay, do you know what? If these people are involved, I'm going to have a good time. If these people are involved, I know the music's going to be bad. If these people are involved, I want to get down there early. That's what we're trying to establish. What I'm really trying to get away from is this whole idea of UK hip-hop artists. Oh, yeah, so how do you feel? What's going on with the scene? What's wrong with the scene? What's right with the scene?
Yeah.
That's not my business.
Totally, yeah.
It's totally not my business. It's totally not up to me to talk for UK hip-hop. It's up for me to talk for Ty. If that makes sense.
I think it makes total sense in the music climate of today, and it isn't about labels. It's about artists.
It's about movement. There's movements happening. You know, you've got Blue Lab Beats doing things. You've got Jazz Refresh doing things. You've got, you've got the 4 Owls doing stuff. You've got Mouse Outfit doing stuff. You've got Children of Zeus,
yeah.
And the Manchester Scene doing stuff. You've got Birmingham's doing stuff. You know, you've got the grime thing going on. You've got the hip-hop thing going on. There's loads of stuff going on. It's about movement. You know, you've got Stormzy doing what he did last week on the Brit Awards. Very important.
Yeah.
That's that's about as hip hop as anything I've seen in the last 10 years in British music circles. You can't get through the door.
Yeah.
And then you've got an artist that, has done that. You see, these are the things that I think people like. I think when we talk about music, when we talk about the clarity in music that we need, these are the moments that we need to amplify and make sure that people are clear on what you're seeing. Like, that's a very big moment that he just had there.
Yeah.
That's a very big moment for a grime artist who generally makes a certain style of music, right, to then turn around and purposefully do a sound check and do different lyrics, and then for the live television show turn around and say that.
Yeah.
That says a lot. Like, let's unpack that. What does that mean? That means that this young generation that are very kind of controlled, very pampered, and very kind of, yes, grime's all about you. That means then they're not as stupid as we think they are. And they've got artists that are willing to get to a certain point and then let down the drawbridge and make moments and make statements like that, who recognize that they have power, that they have their platform and they can use it. This is very interesting because hip-hop has always been about having a platform and using it well. And hip-hop hasn't been using it well for a long time, and it's got a little bit dumbed down. And moments like what's happened with Stormzy, very important.
Yeah.
Because that's the sort of thing that you'd expect someone like me to do, or someone who's in my position, or someone who's even more vocal than me. You'd expect us to do that. You wouldn't expect him to do that.
And do you feel like you're in a position to, how do we, it's hard to say because like we've just said, it isn't about a scene or UK hip hop or that. How do we capitalize? Right. What I was going to say is how do we capitalize on that? How do you as an artist capitalize on that? And I don't mean by selling more records. I mean by taking that vibe and bringing attention to it. What is our responsibility now?
Well, how do I capitalize on what he's done?
But I mean the UK. People in similar positions, yeah.
Well, what we need to start doing is we need to start asking certain questions, right? We need to really look at the media. We need to look at how the media treat black artists, how the media treat any artists that do street music of any background, the biases. We need to call it out. We need to assess it. We also need to look at how the response. So imagine people are upset that he's called out the Prime Minister. But first of all, isn't he right? And if he is right, why would you have more of a problem with him being right than actually dealing with the situation? Like, why would you be more offended that he said that and not be more offended at the fact that it's true? What does that say about you? What does that say about your platform? What does that say about, these are the things that we need to start looking at. We need to start looking at, why does an artist like him know that when he was doing a sound check, not to say those lyrics, and then when live on air, he uses his platform, why does he know that if he did that in sound check, they would have blanked all of that out? What does that mean? What does it mean? Why does he know that? And also, what does that mean for us as listeners now realizing? So you mean to tell me that you lot would have bleeped him out for saying that? So you bleeping him out, but he's not swearing.
Mm.
So what is that exactly? Mm. Is that control? Is that mind control? What have you just shown me that you're doing? And how are we going to address that? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff to look at. Just with that one situation, there's a whole bunch of stuff to look at. Like if you look at Twitter arguments and stuff that people are saying, the way that people are revealing themselves right now. In fact, we're in a very, very serious time. This Trump situation is, I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
I've never seen this before. I've never seen a more clear sign that everything's fucked up in regards to, like, okay, so you mean to tell me, right? I just watched for 8 years everybody slyly rip apart a very charismatic black president, and now you have this, and in less than a year he's done what? And everybody's just tiptoeing around it? What does this mean? Like, do you get what I'm saying, Jimmy? Like, I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what are we really saying? Are we? Why does the crowd go quiet at this point of the play? What does this mean? Because I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means when you have someone that is blatantly a problem, blatantly wrong for the equation of actually our existence in the world right now, and is actually at the top of the button, can basically has got the football, can press the go button, nuclear weapon wise. What are we really looking at right now? I think what I'm looking at, I shouldn't be following any laws. I shouldn't be following any system that's put in place that says this is how things work. Because it doesn't make sense. It totally doesn't make sense right now. It's very worrying. And I think music-wise, this is a brilliant time for music, because this is where I think I've just answered my question. What you're seeing with Stormzy and Grime and you know, just the kind of, and young people and their kind of mobilization and business acumen and really utilizing the doors that have been left open. And like, I think what we're seeing is some kind of reflection of the times. And as bad as music is, I think young people, I think they can turn it around.
That's what I hope, and that's what, you know, every time he opens his mouth, the whole world, the tsunami hits the world, and Trump, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
For me, looking at my daughter, so she's 2 now, and I'm thinking this is going to affect. She's going to grow up with this rebellion in her belly. I'm hoping, and that's my only kind of positive that I can take out of it, is that people are going to stand up and fight for a better, more equal, more just kind of world.
I hope so.
And that's what I have to teach. I have to teach these kids that I teach about things like colonialism and things that these things that are not on the curriculum. I have to teach that outside of the curriculum, like in conversation. It's ridiculous.
There's so much like that test that children have, where they automatically reach for the white doll over the black doll.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
You've got all of that to unpack.
Yeah, and we do it, and yeah, totally.
It's crazy. It's crazy because we just don't see how much conditioning is being taught to all kids. So, you know, but you know, God bless. That'll be. I'm sure you're committed to making that work, and you got no choice really.
Well, I'm hoping, you know, back to Stormzy, I'm hoping that is a wave that does drive through, and these young kids that are starting to make music or other creative pursuits, you know. I mean, people like Young Identity, people younger than that's what I'm hoping for in terms of our country, I guess. But worldwide, you know, a worldwide level.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll start to draw to a close and let you go. I'm going to play Raindrops off the album, if that's all right.
That's fine, that's cool.
Can you tell me a little bit about Raindrops?
Raindrops is a vibe. Absolutely a vibe. I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to put a title on it.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I will say this. Karen Carpenter came to mind.
Right.
So, you know, raindrops falling in my head.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, I freaked it.
Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. My mic sounds nice. Tasty like jerk chicken and ground rice. Just to navigate death, I found life hard. Tailored to cities, I'm jarred. Searching for Nirvana in amongst piranhas. Traded for a second for a beach on the Bahamas. Blame it on the bookie, blame it on Obama. Blame it on whoever, but remove me from the drama. I believe in karma, so I try and step good. Not the Dalai Lama or Vivian Westwood, but we play chess, not checkers. Big power in small letters. T.Y. we push the boat out better. The kick snare and an idea is a mantra. Pen and paper pad, page free, no Samantha. Fox or Linda Lusardi, that's my lottie, my daddy. Whenever I'm in the party, don't mean to trouble nobody. Oh! Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. Listen up, different day, same bullshit. Microphone deep, muscle tissue cleanse music. Change a platform, podium or pulpit. Change a dress code, anything that's loose fit. That's my MO, started as a demo. Now it's worldwide, spreading far, here's a memo. Try and keep up, stop looking like a diva. If you're gonna do it, go nuts. Be a leader in your field, in your valley, on the hills or your alley. Save the fake moan for when Harry met Sally. Cause when Peter cries wolf, it's a rap, ask Barry. Got to make it count or tally, never dilly-dally. We are the Renaissance. Sorry that I kept you. Thank you for your patience. This is how I step through superhero confidence. Took me from a street youth, now I travel continents. Adjectives and consonants. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. When you say you love me, it doesn't matter. When I look back at the stats, all I see is chit chatter, empty data on the floor, bloodstains on the door. I'm very at war with my Sherry Moore. Baffled as to what we even write for. Rattled, now I'm pulling on the last straw. Not bothered with the status, nothing really matters. Surrounded by vultures, pecking at the platters. Sometimes the rain can ease away the pain. Sometimes the rain can wash away the stains. Can't let the dreams wash away in drains. Wherever I lay my hat, there's loose change with those. Sunny days comes rainy nights in Georgia. Yin and yang plays out in many orders. I just wanna fly sky high like an eagle. Put it in the air, then put it on my people like this. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops keep falling. Raindrops, raindrops.
So Ty, I first heard you. I bought the Amongst the Madness, the Next Man album, which came out in 2001, I think, and you were on it, a couple of tracks on there, but turn it up a little. I mean, I played it ever since, DJ wise. What, how you at that time and you now, is there a big difference in terms of your soul?
Major difference. The major difference is that's the group that tried to stuff me.
Right.
That's the group that I was on the album cover. That's the group that didn't have a live show before I came on board. I started touring with them. I helped them with a few songs, helped them with their live show. I helped them come up. And they stiffed me.
See,
and they tried to stiff me out of money.
And that's so sad to hear, because when there's like music that you love and you hear there's like bad shit behind it.
I think I've been really kind. I don't say things. I don't throw people under the bus. But Next Man,
well, that's a disrespect.
Absolutely, disrespected all the help and all of the natural camaraderie that I had shown, or the kind of generally gentle kind of like, yeah, man, for hip hop, I'm trying to make everybody, come through the door. I did that for them, and they fucked me up. Excuse my language. They absolutely tried to stiff me. They got an advert, and they tried to not pay me everything I was due for it. They didn't realize that because I'd done adverts and done soundtracks before, I knew that there was more to it than just one payment. Yeah. And they tried to pay me only one side of it. And from that, I lost a lot of faith in collaborating with outside parties.
Was that down to those guys or the label as well? Was it Scenario that was on?
That was down to them. That was down to them and management.
Okay.
It's definitely down to them. They can't look me in the eye. When I see them, they don't say much. And it's like, they know. They know they fucked me. They know what they did.
I feel like
I'm saying it in the podcast because I need people to know.
Yeah.
These are the things that spoil hip hop. When you work, build people up, and then they stab you in the back later on. So I think it's nice that you've mentioned that that's the beginning, because that is a very good beginning. And and it's a good cursory tale for everybody that works in anything. Like if you start with people and they build you up, try and think about how you treat them. It's important.
Well, listen, my last question was going to be: are there lessons from certain people or certain experiences that you've had? But you've already talked us about a couple of things. But there's a lot of young artists coming up, young Manchester. I just put a blog post up about a 16-year-old kid who's making stuff. Rene, is that you've just given us some words of advice? But is there any other life lessons to do with this kind of industry?
I got some life lessons. I got a life lesson that I think is really important. Right. We keep talking about young people and giving them tips, right? Mm-hmm. So let me flip it. Let me give old people tips.
I'm listening.
In regards to making music, we have to find a way to change the landscape and how it talks about old people, how it talks about artists who are making music, who are trying to exist in an environment that kind of suggests that, oh, you're too old by a certain age. This is what I'm going to say. When I was listening to Chuck D, when I was younger, when I was 17, 16, I didn't know how old he was. When I was listening to Rakim and I saw him in a full beard rapping, I didn't know how old he was. I just knew he was good. When I listen to and watch Marvin Gaye, even though he's dead, I don't believe that Stevie Wonder will ever be told that he's not relevant or shouldn't be singing at a certain age. We somehow create an environment where young people feel they need to rap by a certain time and have achieved something by a certain time. That is bullcrap. The idea that is an idea that is really fostered by music industry people who don't love music. They just love marketing. So if you're into the art form and you're into music for the right reason, not only follow your heart, protect your heart and protect your vision and protect your purpose. No one can tell you when you're supposed to do something and when you're not supposed to do it. And with that, I got to go.
Amen, man.
Yeah? All right, brother. Take care.
I got you.
Can you feel the rain just falling down? Can you feel the rain just falling down?
Can you feel the rain just falling down? Can you feel rain? That rain just falling down. Can you feel the rain just falling down? Falling down. Falling down.
What is this? Forgive me. People letting off shots like it's Disney. It is me. Just dying low. 20 seconds to go, cause I'm dying slow. It started in a party with my mans them. Someone pulled out a gun, and I was abandoned. Out there, solo, face to face with an old foe. Oh no. Point in reasoning, so we struggled before he squeezed them in. Two to my body. The place went wild, ladies are screaming, drop my Bacardi. Life is a party, but it's not Laurel and Hardy now. Can't walk, can't move, can't breathe. Can't talk, can't groove, can't leave. Must be something inside.
It's kinda cold on my chest, kinda cold as it moves across my face. That's the rain as it keeps on falling down. Sometimes the misery is like pounding on the pound. Can you feel the rain just falling down? Falling down. I can feel.
I'm so cold and unsettled. In this town the bicycles, kites they fly little. Clowns pedal, whites and brown on bicycles. Where is the love they hide it all? Light street secrets besides it all. Boils down to this kindness being a weakness. In this skirmish we'll learners extinguish skittles with burners for honors. Standards vanquish Mr. Big ventriloquist with no manners. Let's get on this for more rep, for long this. Been going on the long distance now. It's doorstep. Cooperate or else your man ain't been bored yet. More death, beautiful, gorgeous heads just don't seem to be bored yet. But I'm so cold.
You know, it keeps on falling down. Oh, there's the rain, keeps on falling down. Can you feel it falling down? Can you feel it falling down? Can't you feel the rain 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 falling down?
Let's get this party started. Don't think about the departed, but that's what we seem to do. You see Marlon on TV, I've seen that too. The local news is coming just like a cinema. Buy some popcorn, lights, camera, action. An angry child can now be a murderer and get a gun from a shelf like a pack tin. And guns just walk into my area, but they're not manufactured in my area. Spreading through the city like malaria. People don't get upset, they're taking care of you. And at a club or a show, no more running, man. People scared to tread on your toes. I'm trying to be an earner of O's. Maybe I should get a burner, man. I need one of those, you know?
Can't you feel the rain falling down? 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 Said, can't you feel the rain falling down? you feel the rain falling down? So can't you feel the rain falling down? To the ground falling down, 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 to the ground falling down.